Alright everyone, today we start off talking about Afghanistan, how Beijing Biden has managed already to fuck that situation up. Of course, the legacy media not talking about it. Normally an attack that injures 100 people is front page news. But if it's bad for Beijing Biden, the MSM shoos it to page B and then quickly disappears the story, Stalin style. First and foremost, though, there will be a pinned comment if you're watching this video on YouTube. Keep in mind, I've got links to 4 other video hosting sites there that I use. I make 4 videos a day, only 2 of them go on YouTube. Now, also, there's a link to my Substack. I've started creating more journalistic style content there that people seem to like it. Now, so you can sign up for the email list there and get alerts. I'll be making a few articles a week. This week, because it's new and novel, I'm probably doing like one every day. In fact, I'm going to line one up probably later. But it'll probably be 1 or 2 articles every week. So I'm going to try not to overload people's email, just to be clear. Now, link in the description. And I'm going to read this out verbatim, because it should shock you. Considering how relatively calm, historically speaking, the situation in Afghanistan was under Trump, this should be shocking, because we spent years with relative peace, slowly building up the Afghan government, getting infrastructure in there, their economy, at least in the sense of Kabul and a few other places, improving somewhat. It's still deeply third world, landlocked and backwards, but it was better. It was better than it had been since before we decided to bomb things to smithereens in a vain search for Osama, who was across the border at the time. So this, link in the description, archived of course. At least 50 killed and over 100 wounded in blast near Kabul girls' school. Oh, wonderful. It's funny because yesterday, somebody I think sent a super chat on the live stream. And they're like, oh, how long before that situation falls apart and there's more terrorism there? Well, you didn't even have to wait. The thing is that nobody knows that this happened. Like, they'll put it on the politics page. They won't even have it on the front homepage at CNN, and a lot of them won't even cover it. I would think that that's significant. 50 people dead or more, 100 wounded, in a situation where Afghanistan for a number of years had relatively few attacks going on. Beijing Biden has taken our diplomacy out of the modern era and put it right back at the beginning of the 2010s. He has taken us 10 years backwards in time, and unfortunately that was not a good time for diplomacy, or for economics. More to come, I'm sure, from the asterisk administration. He's already pissed away all the progress Trump made in Korea. He's now pissing away the progress that was made in Afghanistan, and it is his fault uniquely, and here's why. Donald Trump brokered the withdrawal agreement when he was the president of the United States. Hong Kong, of course, totally lost, and so forth. The agreement was that we would leave in May, that we would be gone by now, that May 1st was the deadline, our troops pack up their shit, they get into their fucking cargo planes and helicopters, and they fucking leave. That was the agreement. We struck it with the Afghan government, and we struck it with the Taliban. Now, you can't deal with ISIS unless you have local support. The Afghan government controls, more or less, Kabul and some other urban areas, and that's basically it. The hinterlands of Afghanistan are very, very rugged. They're cliffs and caves and tunnels and shit like that left over from the days of Osama, and those are all being used by local militias and by ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. If you don't have support from the Taliban, a la the pan-tribal sort of associations that go on there, you don't really control anything. They're the ones that, in a de facto sense, control the country. The Afghan government is only capable of governing if it's willing to parlay with them. The United States stepped up and parlayed with both parties and hammered out an agreement. The first thing Beijing Biden decided to do is say, well, we can't withdraw yet. We made the agreement. It's all inked and signed, at least unofficially, with the Afghan government. But we're going to piss off the Afghan government and the Taliban, the two groups that are actually capable of potentially tackling the remnant of ISIS or Al-Qaeda in the region. We're going to piss them off by saying, no, I know we agreed to leave in May, but we're going to leave on September 11th. And he did that, by the way, for totally self-serving political purposes. It's the imagery of it. It's the optics. Well, we're leaving on 9/11. Oh, great celebration after 2 decades, America's longest war, which isn't true, the Korean War is longer, is over. Biden wanted kudos for that. He wants to push it back far enough so people forget that the agreement was brokered by Trump. By the way, the other day when I analyzed it, Tim Scott, remember the Republican, black Republican that delivered the rebuttal to Biden's statement to the joint session of Congress, Biden's rigmarole, his meandering, ranting, these old man dementia haze. It's funny because actually, if you look at the situation, Tim Scott wants to keep us in Afghanistan. He agrees with Hillary Clinton, actually, which is showing about the two-party system, I analyzed it would be a poor idea to run him in 2024, partially because of that. Biden, meanwhile, is destroying everything. Trump, a lot of people, they have Trump derangement syndrome so bad that they'll actually think that Biden is responsible for the withdrawal. And Tim Scott, by the way, as I analyzed, he's probably hoping that things fall through there because he put himself out there as one of the few people that wants to stay in the country. If he runs, he can say, well, I told you so. Oh, I told you it was a bad idea. Well, we can't stay there forever. And as I analyzed again, the war over there is so unpopular. There's no reason. You're not going to get any kudos for saying we should have stayed there forever. There's nothing we can do about the situation. The time to leave Afghanistan was never to have arrived in the first place back in the 2000s. Failing that, we should have left a half a dozen other times. It's not our responsibility. If the Afghan government, after all the billions we've pumped into it, and all the weaponry we've given them and logistic support and diplomatic recognition, if they're still not capable of governing the country, then the country's ungovernable. It's essentially going to fall back into tribalism. There are regions in this world, and it's not just Afghanistan, that don't really have what you would call a functioning government in the civic sense of the modern nation state. Somalia, for example, with their civil war. Areas in the Congo, the Democratic Republic, Central African Republic, parts of Sudan, all of these various third world regions, parts of Central America. You've got a narco state in Honduras, El Salvador, some of these places. They're areas where the government does not control anything. It's not anarchism, it's a parallel system, a parallel legal system where they behead people who step out of line and fuck with a cartel or fuck with some terrorist group. Afghanistan's natural state is like that. It's been like that for thousands of years. What makes us think that from literally the other side of the world, we can affect a small landlocked nation with no major natural resources other than minerals that are all controlled by the Taliban without the will of the Taliban and of the other tribal groups that are there? They're the real power structure. Biden decided that that wasn't important. He probably wants the situation to get worse. He probably wants terrorist attacks so that he can surge more troops in. Well, we were going to leave, but then that damn dirty Taliban that we literally stabbed in the back decided not to keep with the peaceful arrangement that Trump brokered, but just forget that it was him. But it's still Orange Man's fault. You see, I pushed the date back and fucked everyone in the ass, but somehow it's Donald's fault. That's what Biden wants. He wants to be able to blame the previous administration for his own diplomatic failures and hopefully not leave Afghanistan because it's a cash cow. We can keep robbing people. I thought it was great. I mentioned this the other day. Geraldo saying, well, we should retaliate against these terrorist attacks by burning the opium fields. That's great. Let's destroy the one reasonably developed aspect of the economy there that's basically propping up the Afghan government that we invested tens of billions of dollars in, Geraldo. Again, there's a reason why he's not allowed to embed with U.S. troops anymore, because he's a fucking idiot. And then a war pig, I would say. He's one of the worst of them. He's a total neocon. Fucking weirdo. And Biden, thanks Biden. Yeah, now more dead Afghans. That's exactly what everyone wanted. This is the Build Back Better that everyone wanted. A return to the foreign policy that failed so badly that it led to the populism of Donald Trump, to the non-world policing sort of zeitgeist that we see among parts of the right wing now. To the point where, because Orange Man bad, I see liberals clamoring for war. Oh yeah, now the president's got a D after his name now. Let's go bomb some people. Yay! Let's bomb North Korea. Let's bomb Afghanistan. Let's burn the poppy fields. You people are nuts. The liberals have completely sold out. Again, like yesterday, that one wacky-ass progressive Sheila Brown, or whatever the fuck her name is, applauding Bush and calling him patriotic. What are you smoking? How much heroin did you use before you penned that article? How many lines did you snort? You gotta be fucking shitting me. And I see like the left-wing voices, at least the independent side of the left, castigating these people for this. Hey, you're not winning any allies, by the way. Yeah, I'm cutting edge. I'm on the edge of the revolution, brah. Yeah, Mitt Romney's my bro. I hang out with Dick Cheney and his daughter. This is really... We're not going to start any wars with such an entourage, by the way. Coalescing around Joe Biden like a bunch of fucking vultures waiting to pick his corpse when Kamala pushes him down the stairs. That's about all. Peace out.